It's time to go coast to coast on CMRU.ca. Bringing you everything new in the hockey world, here's Landon Brown, Alex Burko, and Phil Trombley.
Hello, everyone.
Morning.
How
Good
we
morning.
doing?
Do you want the real answer?
I would love the real answer, Phil Trombley.
Not good, Alex.
No?
Not good. I have been better. But today we have a very exciting show. We have, I think, a lot to talk about.
Yeah,
And-
we're going to be touching on a bit of Flames, Oilers, a couple trades.
Yeah.
Yeah, the trades were interesting.
And
only
we-
coming from the Wild.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that. But
and
first,
we have our second guest ever on
we
the
have
show.
our second ever guest,
Thank you.
He is sitting in for the whole show today.
friend of the show, Merrick Robinson.
Thank
Merrick,
you,
how's it
thank
going,
you.
pal?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
He's a Pittsburgh fan.
He is.
Very much so.
That's about all I have to say. He's also really bad at fantasy.
Yeah.
I'm not bad. I'm just.
Very unlucky.
Hey,
He-
the other
he's-
team I made is doing good.
Yeah, he's bad when the team is his own.
Exactly. You actually have no idea how much effort I put into Sierra's team. I have like spreadsheets out and just making sure.
And Merrick's like, I'm going to go on gut.
Yeah. 0-4 is a bit
Bill.
hard, and I'm like down 30, and it's
You-
Thursday.
You picked with your heart.
Yeah.
Didn't quite pan.
Well, I have Crosby. That's all I need.
Yeah.
He's actually one of the only guys to get me points.
All right.
It's very good.
Well, might as well get off and running with the show. Let's go ahead and start locally with the Flames in the past week. They won.
I was impressed.
I was impressed as well, but I'm sure we
They
all know
won
that
2
wasn't the
games.
story coming out of the game, was it?
No, the big thing was...
So, just a quick recap. Since last show, they walked into Seattle, left with a 6-3 win, then came back home to face Nashville and left with a 4-2 win. But in the 4-2 Nashville game, a player who makes north of, I believe, 10 mil did not play a second in the third.
Which I love. I love that. I think that's exactly what the coaches need to do.
Yeah. I am not a huge fan that they're. I hate that I said, man, they haven't looked better this season. In the third, I was watching the game and there were points where I said, well, they really haven't looked better.
No,
And it is a problem that I'm saying that with Huberdeau sitting on the bench like that.
Well, the thing is with his contract, like, you can't move him. Like,
Yeah.
Honestly, I would have loved to see Calgary do what Edmonton just did, which
And-
we'll talk about later,
Yeah.
and honestly send him down to the Wranglers. He is playing so poorly this year. That's what he deserves.
What line is he on?
First.
Not a line. He's not on a line.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
sucks.
I guess he's technically not on a
Because
line.
when that trade happened, when it was Kachuk for Uyghur and Huberdeau, everyone thought that Calgary like won that trade. And,
Well,
like,
'cause they-
looking back
well,
at it,
'cause they
it's
did.
terrible.
They
They
won
thought
the
that-
trade.
yeah.
Yeah, Huberdeau also, too, he definitely was going to come in and fill that role that Johnny Gaudreau did.
Yeah, exactly.
With all the passing. Like, he's fast, he can pass, he sees the ice well.
Yeah.
It was just supposed to be a seamless transition, but
And it wasn't.
So-
sometimes it's hit some bumps.
So Daily Faceoff has Huberdeau as the first line left wing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because when they brought in Kadri, I thought Kadri was gonna be like their like number 2 guy, but then it's kind of reversed. Was Kadri's kind of received more ice time and is kind of just being a bigger impact off between those 2 trades.
Mm.
It
See, I also looked at that trade and thought, wow, Calgary fleeced Florida here.
It was
Like-
nice to see Kadri do something,
Yeah,
because I think he played okay this weekend.
yeah. I don't know. I do you do what Edmonton did with Huberdeau?
You can't.
No,
Can you? I don't
well,
Not-
it depends
not-
on his contract. If he has no movement, I don't know the specifics for him.
I doubt you can do that even with a $10 million contract, because Campbell has a $5 million one way, so he still gets paid $5 million in the minors.
That's crazy.
So putting Huberdeau down, you're still paying a guy $10 million to do nothing.
Which
for your
which
NHL
is
team.
which is arguably worse.
Exactly right.
But if they do need that, then it's worth doing. Like, you see the Blue Jays with Alec Manoah, they sent him down to, like,
Yeah,
below
they did
deck
do that.
minors.
And
They
then he-
sent him
yeah.
really far backwards. But
But then
he's
Send
still,
him to the Hitmen.
but they're still looking forward to him next year pitching for the Blue Jays. So,
exactly.
like, sometimes people just need to work on stuff. we don't know everything going
No,
on.
we don't know everything, and we never will. But
I mean, Huberdeau does have a nice mustache going right now. I will give him that.
Huberdeau makes Seth Jones look good.
but if you're
Seth
making
Jones
$10 million
contract.
a year, you need to perform.
Yeah, there's a little responsibility there.
Like, you just need to, especially when you're the guy that the whole team is kind of
and the
at
organization kind of made the changes,
for you.
like
You were
administration-wise.
He was supposed to be that franchise player.
There is
Yeah.
also a no move on that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Flames don't really have that. You look at, Toronto with Matthews. You have Edmonton with McDavid. Who do the Flames have? They have.
They're just not there yet. It's Wolf
Yeah.
and Zary and
Yeah, Zary.
Yeah, but are they
Carnage.
going to even play Wolf anymore? Like, is he backing up?
That's
or?
one thing I was going to ask you guys about because you follow the Wranglers a little bit more. Is like, what is up with Wolf? Is he not going to play in the NHL this year? Are they just waiting to do something with
Well,
the NHL goalies?
Yeah, I think
They're
for-
probably going to do the same thing they did last year, I would think. Wait till they're out of the playoffs and then, hey Wolf,
That's
come
brutal.
start 5 of 7.
Or wait till they're like just barely in the playoffs and then start Wolf into like against
'Cause I've seen
Toronto and
It's just because he
the
like
Devils and
he
then see
he
what
doesn't even look
happens.
like he's trying in the AHL or in the AHL. When you look at his numbers,
Doesn't need to.
But he's
he
all-
does it. He
good.
does it. He's proven.
He was the best goalie last year in the AHL.
Yeah, he was
Like,
the
he's
AHL
one of
goalie of
best
the
this
year twice, I think.
Yeah,
yeah, like his numbers
he win
look like he's not
MVP?
even doesn't even have to try.
I don't know if he won MVP. I cannot confirm or deny.
I think he might have.
I think he might have too.
Because
last
even
year.
Boston had their second goalie, but the only reason he didn't get brought up was purely because Boston has the best tandem in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, Allmark is really good.
Swayman's
Although
probably better
He's not getting me that many points these days.
because they do the switch. They switch like almost every other game.
I know it makes me really angry.
The American Hockey League announced today that goaltender Justin Wolf of the Calgary Wranglers has been voted winner of the Les Cunningham Award as the AHL's most valuable
Yeah.
player
Yeah.
for the 22-23 season.
And you don't put him on your team is ridiculous. He's
We-
way better than Vladar. You could
So-
you could probably do a 1A 1B with Markstrom. No,
I don't
I
know. I
mean,
like
so
Vladar.
here's what I think. Here's what the smart thing would be to do. The smart thing would be to give Vladar a couple more starts, try and build his trade value, and then ship him off to pick a team that needs a goalie.
yeah,
Edmonton.
Toronto.
Edmonton.
That's what
And
that's
then-
what I thought Boston should have done. They like Allmark's value was at an all-time high.
And then if you can find a scoring top 6 forward, maybe throw in a pick with Vladar because I know he's not worth a top 6 forward, but
That's what's so hard to do though. Is in like the first 3 months, trades are practically impossible to make.
But can Calgary afford another top 6 forward? Like, we're paying so much
Like
money for guys that aren't
cap-wise?
doing anything. We can't change those contracts.
What is Kadri making?
I think
7?
he's close to
Kadri is
I think he
making
was 7 by
7.
7. Yeah.
That's not too bad actually. I'm okay. Like
How
that
much
doesn't
cap
sound
space do they have?
brutal.
They have a mill in cap space. They have
Yes.
they have 1.5.
Yeah, so you're not getting.
So if
someone
you
who's that
unload
effective for 1.5.
Vladar at 2.2, that's a serviceable third liner then.
Your defense is fine too. Like
the defense is decent, like between Anderson, Hannafin,
And-
and Tanev.
and Uyghur's definitely the highlight of that Huberdeau trade. Like Uyghur's not doing like god awful. He's still playing
no,
well.
he's
I love
playing
him.
Pretty good.
He's one of the players that I irrationally love across the league.
Well, in 12 games, he's got 2 goals, 3 assists.
Who is he?
Uyghur.
For a defenseman, you can't. That's a bit of a different.
Yeah,
Animal.
That's not bad at all. I don't know. My guy's Zadorov. I like Zadorov.
Yeah.
I think he's
Yeah.
such a good guy.
You mean future Toronto Maple Leafs defenseman Nikita Zadorov?
Oh my
What?
god, that's a brutal take.
what?
That's what's being said a lot.
Yeah, everyone thinks
Really?
Trey Living wants him too.
Like that's being brought up on 32 Thoughts, especially with the True Living connection.
Yeah,
Again, but no moves will be made like right now.
No.
They can't be.
No,
they need to, but they can't.
Yeah.
but
It's also, you also got to
Oh.
remember it's been 10 games in the season. Everyone's kind of like even with Edmonton, they're calling like everything. It's like
well,
dude,
yeah, they're looking a little desperate though.
Well, that's- yeah.
Edmonton sucks.
That is
man.
do
true.
we want to move north?
Yeah,
to
let's
Edmonton
move
for a bit?
north and
Actually,
talk
before
about
we go up
it.
there, should we talk give some takes on the Mangiapane suspension?
I thought it was gonna
I
be
thought
more.
it was
I thought it
gonna
was
be
gonna be
more.
considerably
I
more.
actually didn't.
One
I
game.
actually
It
didn't
was
see it.
I thought it was gonna be at least
He
5.
basically cross-checked a guy in the neck. who
Oh,
was
I did
already
see that.
laying
I
down.
did see that. It was
Yeah.
on the Kraken game, right?
Is
Mhm.
McCann? Yeah, Jared
Yeah,
McCann.
and then but McAvoy gets 4 for something that doesn't look.
Well, even just
ridiculous.
compared to the
So,
Anderson suspension.
Yeah.
it's just-
So
Liney's still out too.
we are gonna get into the McAvoy suspension probably after the break.
oh, okay.
But suffice to say that I'm pretty sure the NHL is gonna start being consistent with their suspensions.
Yeah, they've upheld a lot of them
'Cause-
too.
Especially,
Well-
I imagine I imagine they're probably going to step towards a hit to the head being 4 games. Period.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Period. 4 games. Period.
It just with a cross like that was just one of the stupidest plays I've ever
What are
seen
you
in
doing?
sports.
Well, when I
What are
first-
you doing?
When I first saw it, I thought he just got like knocked into him. But then I
Nope.
watched it again. I was like, "What?"
Yeah,
is
that's what I.
that?
That
No,
was,
he-
that's what
it
I
was
thought
one
too.
of the dumbest
He essentially
things.
Jamie Bend him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because like
I
he
remember-
also went back. Like he hit him, and then
And then
it was like, okay, maybe it's an accident. It's like, and then he goes. It's like, what are
Yeah.
you doing?
Yeah.
Which
So
is why I
stupid.
thought it was going to be like 4 or 5 games
I
because
thought it was
Yeah.
gonna be
Ben
4
got
games.
2 for that in the playoffs, and that's basically the same thing. And if you're familiar with NHL suspensions, a playoff suspension, 1 game is basically the same as a 2-game regular
Yeah.
season game
Yeah.
suspension.
Yeah.
So I thought he's going to get at least 4 or 5.
It's just so unnecessary. Like,
What do you?
Well, and it was extremely intentional.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Like you
Absolutely.
could make the argument for the first one being an accident, but then the fact that he went up, wound up, and hit him again is just like, bro.
in the neck, like
Yeah.
ridiculous.
I haven't seen.
Who was
how-
it on again? Like who?
Jared McCann.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like I do like Mangiapane. I think he's a lot of fun. But after that, I was like, "What are you
Yeah,
doing?"
he had like a
dude?
rage moment or something. Just like the adrenaline got a hold of him.
Did he
Yeah,
get kicked out
obviously-
that game, or did he stay in?
Yeah,
No,
we
he
got
got a match
knocked.
penalty.
Yeah, he got
Oh,
tossed.
okay.
I
Just
know
like-
that because he's on my fantasy, and I was like, "How am I down
He's a-
6 points on Mangiapane?"
He's
Like,
on. He's on one of mine too.
Yeah.
I want to talk about fantasy.
I haven't. I haven't seen him comment on it, which is probably an indictment of I probably did something like that's him. I feel like that's him fully owning up to that was dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he knows he did something stupid.
Yeah.
Like that was one of the dumbest.
I think it's also
things in
because he's not a
sports I've
repeat
seen.
offender, so they kind of just
Yeah,
give him
that's
like a little
true.
thing.
That's true. If Anderson had done it, it'd be like,
Yeah, I
"What
guess.
again?"
I guess
Well,
Ben was a
Madison did
repeat
it, 'cause
offender.
he just got suspended. Is he back yet or no?
Oh yeah, he's back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
it's
guess.
back. Well, it's not back then.
I guess
Okay.
Ben was a repeat offender when he did the stone thing, so I guess that does make sense.
Yeah, I think Ben's was worse purely because of the stakes at the time.
Real quick before we move on to Edmonton, by the time we come back to you for next show, the Flames will have faced Toronto. That's coming up tomorrow. Then they head to Ottawa for a back-to-back. Then they're in Montreal on the 14th, which is Tuesday. And then next Thursday, they will be facing the white-hot Vancouver Canucks at home.
Yeah, like we thought this was going to be the week that they're like, "Oh, maybe they can come back." But I mean, Ottawa's looking pretty good. Montreal's looking okay, and Vancouver's
Ottawa has
looking
his moment though.
ridiculous.
Yeah, Vancouver's insane. But
like,
Ottawa
what
has
is
moments.
happening in Vancouver?
I don't think I'm being too head in the clouds here. The Flames could realistically have a winning record on this road trip.
Yeah, maybe against
What's the
against
record
Ottawa.
right
Toronto's been rough, especially with their goaltending recently.
No, I don't. think
Ottawa,
Yeah, I can see them being Ottawa. I can see that.
Maybe.
I
I
could
could
see- I
Ottawa's
could- I
pretty
could-
good.
I could
Ottawa's
see-
up in the air though. They lost the game before.
They're kind of
Toronto.
like Pittsburgh. Their record's not very good, but they're playing well.
and then you have Montreal. I could
I'll take that from
imagine.
a Rangers
I can
fan.
imagine Calgary being 2-1-0. I can see it.
I can
I
see them
don't
also
know.
losing in overtime to Toronto or Vancouver.
I
It
think,
also very much depends on which game Vladar gets.
I think we lose the Toronto game for sure.
Well, is it
Maybe
in
on
Toronto
Ottawa.
or is it in
It is
Calgary?
in Toronto.
Oh,
It is
okay.
a 3-game road trip.
Oh, I see.
Toronto tomorrow, Ottawa
Ottawa.
the day after, and then you got 2 days rest before you go to the Bell Center and face Montreal before
Yeah,
coming home
I-
next Thursday.
I think we get beat by Toronto. I think maybe Ottawa, maybe Montreal, and Vancouver's so hard to make a call on because like
They're
what
so
is
hot.
happening?
They're so hot
They're
right now.
the best the Vancouver Canucks have ever been in their
Period.
franchise.
All of their stars are playing like absolute legends right now.
Besser's finally
Crazy.
woken up as well.
Yeah.
Because I've like for 4 years now, they've been trying to ship him off. Ironically, ship him off to Pittsburgh for 4 years straight, and they've never been able to make a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look at
it's working.
We had our season predictions, and none of us said Demko for Vezina because we didn't see that happening.
no. I said Aiden Hill like an idiot.
I said Logan Thompson. Like
Aiden
I
Hill's
don't,
doing-
I don't even remember who I picked. Did I pick Vamelka?
just you picked Shostorkin.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
But like,
He's hurt
look
right
at
now.
our predictions. I was just gonna bring that up. Did any of us have Vancouver even making playoffs?
Ooh, okay. Give me 30 seconds. I'll pull it up.
I think we had them maybe like Buffalo last year, where they would just like miss out a little.
Buffalo's
bit,
the most overrated team in my opinion.
Oh, okay.
Whoa!
Okay,
Wow.
let's jump in there.
I think they
Go
are-
ahead.
That team is just ridiculous. They have one solid line. You have Skinner, Tuck, Thompson. Defense, you have Power and Darlene. Who else do you have? Your goalies are terrible. You have no good goaltending in Ukko-Pekka.
You're okay. Okay, I would draw the line at terrible. That terrible's
get
terrible's
okay.
not.
heated.
Terrible's
I
not
would say
right.
it's like middle to like maybe a little above average, but they are not as good. They're not this dark horse that everyone's saying they are.
They're a dark horse.
Not as much as last year.
They're a Buffalo.
They're better than last year. What are you talking about?
Well,
I know playing
Pitts-
a lot better than he did
I know
last
Pittsburgh
season.
plays them, so maybe my words will come back to bite me. But I'm just saying, like in that kind of sense, I don't know. Buffalo just hasn't been living up to the expectations that everyone's kind of set on them. Because they said like, oh, playoff team, and like they're 6-6.
To be
I think.
fair, like Cousins had a slow start.
It's just like,
He
but,
didn't
like,
like pop off.
I
And
just
same
don't-
with Tage Thompson.
Yeah.
They kind of like stumbled out of the gate rather than like burst out. But
yeah, I think Buffalo, Vancouver was last year's Buffalo right now. They're hot. and
Oh.
then that would be my take.
Okay.
That's a good take.
So, getting back to our predictions, the person who was highest on Vancouver was Phil Tremblay.
Oh, of course I was.
Phil Tremblay had them 4th, Landon Brown had them 5th, and I had them sitting in 6th.
Did Phil have him on the
Boom.
wild card
I'm
position?
a genius, is what Alex is saying.
I
well,
could,
for now.
yeah,
For now.
he probably gave them the wild card because
Oh,
his
okay.
top 4 for the Central were Colorado, Dallas, Nashville, and Winnipeg. So I'd imagine that Vancouver's probably going to steal a spot there.
Can I hear his thoughts on the Metro? Just out of pure
I don't
curiosity.
remember.
Phil's or everyone's?
Phil's.
What did I say?
Okay, so I know who you're asking about. He had Pittsburgh finishing 5th.
Wow. Who'd you have finishing above Pittsburgh?
I don't remember.
First was Carolina,
Yeah.
second was the Rangers,
Yeah.
third was the Islanders,
What?
fourth was the Devils.
What? I did the
I
Islanders
don't
that
know
high.
that division
That's not even the
very
worst
well.
prediction that was on that show.
Islanders are the probably most, like in my opinion, the most boring team to watch too.
Bring it
Well,
back. What
yeah.
was the craziest prediction we had?
What was the most
Eric-
sane
Landon-
prediction?
There was one that we lost our minds
Landon
on.
Brown made me almost take off my headphones.
I need to hear this.
I stand by it.
Landon Brown, Merrick, where do you think the Coyotes are going to finish in their division?
Well, they're not Pacific. What are they?
Central.
Central.
They have Colorado, Dallas, Winnipeg, Montreal, Minnesota, Nashville, St. Louis, and Chicago.
I think they finish above. I think they finish 6th, so above St. Louis and above
Chicago.
Landon had
so-
them like winning.
So you
Well, I
would
had them at
no,
four.
yeah.
You had
So
them
yeah,
at 4?
yep, yeah. So you wouldn't put Arizona at 4th,
So what did he have? Then who do you have at 5?
Minnesota.
I can. No.
They just dumped
Yeah,
Callan
well,
Addison too.
He had them better. We'll get into that. We had them better than Nashville, which I found kind of surprising.
That is
and
surprising.
I
had-
actually I'm
he had St.
surprised
Louis
that
in
went through.
7th.
I
yeah.
can see that. I can see that. St. Louis is
Nashville
like,
surprised me. I will give them that. I actually like watching Nashville games right now. They're exciting to watch.
yeah, until I play you in
Nashville's
fantasy,
fun.
and he has Brian O'Reilly, and I have Forsberg. Every time
Mo-
Forsberg gets a point, Brian O'Reilly scores.
Moving on to a different topic because we have to push the show forward a bit. We all had Edmonton finishing 2nd in the Pacific.
Who's
That's looking
first?
I think
bad
we were
right
just
all
jumping
agreed
on
on-
a bandwagon.
We all agreed on Vegas and Edmonton.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That no one expected him to be 2-8.
Actually, Vegas is the big story right now too, because they just lost. I don't know why I said we. They just lost like their first game
Yeah,
against the Ducks.
against the Ducks.
Dude, Ducks were on like a 7-game win streak till Pittsburgh snapped it, and
Yeah.
Pittsburgh even lost to them on that win streak.
Yeah. And
Well,
like
That game was a little bit of a rough one.
against the Ducks.
So
Again, I think it's the beginning of the year. You have some of the worst teams kind of going hot out the gate, and then they kind of just fizzle
Yeah,
out.
you can tell the Ducks are having a lot of fun, like ruining other teams' nights because
they
they're just
were so
Yeah.
stoked on it
They even
too.
beat Boston.
like they look
beat
like they're having
Boston.
so much fun. Just making other teams
Cry.
regret
Oh, you have.
underestimating.
I was
them.
I was at work and I put on the Penguins game. And I was like, oh, we're gonna go to overtime. And Mason McTavish gets out the box, and I was like, you have to be joking. Breakaway, 3 seconds left, scores. I was just like,
I don't know. The Ducks look decent. Like they got some pretty good young talent between.
I don't think they do-
McTavish and
and
between
and
Zegras,
Dostal has been
Vetrano's
insane.
coming
Yeah.
out too.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've been loving Vetrano.
I don't love Toronto against fantasy.
And
games.
can we talk about those purple jerseys, man?
Yes,
I'm getting one.
Oh,
Whenever
they're
they come out, I'm
so
getting one.
They're very
cool.
nice.
They're the best.
I
They're
love
the
them.
best ones.
Getting
was-
I
getting
know I
back.
hate on Buffalo, but they kind of remind me of the Buffalo's alternate jerseys.
Yeah.
The goat
The
heads?
goat head?
Yeah, those ones are nice.
I was talking to my girlfriend, and I was like, man, if Sean Chagall was still going to the Ducks, I would definitely get a purple Ducks Chagall jersey. That'd be so sick.
I think that team's gonna be insane in the next few years.
Yeah.
They'd be better if they got Chagall.
So getting back to the topic that I wanted to get to
Yeah, like
before it got derailed to the Ducks.
The Ducks.
you send down Campbell because you know that if you send down Stuart Skinner, he's going to get picked up by someone.
Yeah.
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 You know how funny it would have been if someone actually picked up Campbell and just screwed up Edmonton? You know how funny that would have been?
Yeah, but it
I
would've
mean,
been-
does that screw up Edmonton or does that screw up you?
It only screws up your team if you, like a team that needs to meet the cap floor maybe would do it. but
Yeah.
that's it.
So the Oilers are running with Skinner and Pickard. I
agree with the move. I think
absolutely agree with you. I think it's the smartest move they could have made.
I think especially because we like just talked about it about Huberdeau. When you have that opportunity to take a player who's not performing how you want them to perform, and you can put them down, it's a good move. Like you put them down, they'll gain experience, they'll gain knowledge, and then if they can come back, they'll probably be better. So
Yeah.
I also feel
Because he's
bad.
got to play.
Yeah, I also feel bad because I think like the way that Oilers have been playing, I think Jay Woodcroft could be out the door. And
Jay
it's
Woodcroft,
not-
who got tossed from last
Yeah,
night.
and I
he
don't
was
think
literally
it's his
out
fault.
the door the other
Mhm.
day.
Yeah,
'cause he
exactly.
got
I don't think,
tossed.
but it's not his fault. And like he could get tossed for no reason.
The only reason I think the Oilers
I
would
think
not
there was a reason.
would not make a coaching change is because this is Ryan Nugent-Hopkins' like 9th coach in his career,
Yeah,
That's insane.
and he like
Oh my god!
like the Oilers go
man.
through so many coaches. It's clearly not a coaching.
You can't
thing.
make a relationship with a coach to
You don't have the
that
time because
success. Yeah.
because you're held to such a high
Well,
standard.
look at Pittsburgh and Tampa. They've had the longest 2 coaches in the league,
and Colorado.
and Colorado. Like, and look what they've done. Pittsburgh has 2 cups. Lightning has 2 cups. Colorado has 1. When you have that relationship, you get to know how each other work, and it works.
So is that there? I feel like that's discounting a couple different ways that a coach can get fired because sometimes they just kind of lose the room.
That is true.
Yeah.
Like Sutter, apart from sucking and making boneheaded decisions last season, lost the room.
yeah.
He
but
didn't
lost
just
the
lose-
room
he didn't just
because
lose
the
it, he
players
divided
didn't
it.
Care.
That too, but he also divided it, which is worse, I would think.
Yeah,
I
I think
don't know.
everyone in
So I
Edmonton
think
wants to
we're-
win. I just think
Yeah.
they're having trouble doing it.
Well, you also have a guy you're overpaying by $9 million in Darnell Nurse.
There's also that.
Well, and McDavid clearly isn't healthy. He's playing on the wing.
He's also starting to lose his mind.
What is
A little bit.
going on?
What's going on in
He
Edmonton?
got into a fight
Well,
with Miller.
I think he's hurt.
Oh,
like
right.
I don't
yeah,
think he's
still injured.
I don't think he's
rushed
completely
it.
recovered.
He really wanted to play that outdoor game, and I think he rushed it.
like he's playing on the wing.
Well
so that's
then,
what makes me
okay.
think he's
So,
hurt.
so here's what you do: you play the outdoor game and then you sit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they need chill. The thing is, he's like Huberdeau. They can't afford to sit him. They need him to play.
Well, he's
because
also- but
they've got no one.
difference
Well, at
between
this point,
McDavid and
everyone would
Huberdeau is
be okay.
McDavid is the best player in the NHL.
But he's not. Not
Like,
right now.
Exactly.
They're not
sure.
currently.
No, there's like 70 people better than him right now, which
Wow.
is insane.
They'll figure themselves out. Like they're still professional athletes. They'll figure it out because.
Well, they gotta start doing it quick because they're in the same level of San
But
Jose
if Connor
Sharks.
McDavid, yeah, that's what I was just
Yeah.
gonna say. If Connor McDavid's on a team that's being compared to the 2023-24 San Jose Sharks, it's problematic.
Yeah.
That is super problematic.
Because first, you never want to be in that position, but when you're the greatest player and you're in that position, something is fundamentally
Can I mention something about the Sharks?
not going
yes,
right.
please. I just think it's so
So I
funny.
just want to go past to the 3 games. So Vancouver wins 10-1, Pittsburgh wins 10-2, and then what happened to Philly, Alex?
We're gonna get to that later.
Alex started crying as what happened.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
God.
They played really good though that
We're-
game.
They did.
Duclair's
I know.
actually
We're
insane.
okay. We're gonna
For that
we're-
team.
We're gonna get to that later. I know
Okay.
I'm a Flyers fan. We're gonna get to that later. I have
Perfect.
to talk about it. I'll talk about it immediately after the break.
Sounds good.
Little
sounds good.
teaser. Fun fact: did you guys know that if San Jose, because let's see, I believe Edmonton's next game is against San Jose.
Yeah.
It is tonight.
Yes.
If
it
San
is.
Jose, if San Jose, by the grace of God, happens to win, they're tied with Edmonton in
Oh,
points,
that'd
but
be-
Edmonton has a tiebreaker.
Good. They have a tiebreaker against the San Jose
They,
Sharks.
they have
so
a
sad.
they have a
I
game
would
in
be
hand.
So happy if San Jose wins tonight. Oh my
I can
God,
see.
that'd be
I can see it
so
going 3
funny.
ways. I can see Edmonton, San Jose going to overtime. San Jose winning.
Bro.
I can also see.
Win, loss, or shootout. The 3 ways it can go. Just-
Yeah.
I also just see like Edmonton just like absolutely just firing on all cylinders for some,
I
like.
don't
yeah.
think they're going to.
I didn't
like,
think. That
I
I
made
didn't
the
think that
mistake
against
of
Pittsburgh either.
I made
they
the
named the
mistake of
starter.
betting on Edmonton against Nashville because I benched Ryan O'Reilly for that day,
Yeah.
and he ran with a hat trick and an assist, so I
Yeah.
lost my weekend fantasy off that player alone. So I'm just gonna say, you know what? screw Edmonton. They're going to lose every game for us this season.
I think they are. They're going to go 2-80.
So
They're
they're
gonna go 2-8.
they're
Who do
they're-
they beat? Flames and
They beat the Flames, and I don't even know who
oh
else they beat.
god. Okay, so I'll get to that in a second here, but they have this week they're in San Jose,
yeah.
they're in Seattle, they're
Ugh.
at home against the Islanders,
Ugh.
and then they're hosting Seattle.
Oh, they lose all those games. They're
That's
gonna
a-
lose. They're
that's a
going
Flames
2-80,
fan.
man. They're going
That's a
2-80.
Flames fan
And I
talk.
can't
I'm
wait
gonna
to
say
see
they're
it.
batting 500.
Yeah, I can
No,
see
it's
that.
gonna be less than 5.
I think they lose one to Seattle and win one against Seattle, and then like the Islanders one will be up, depending on how good their offense is.
Yeah, it depends if the Islanders start
If
Sorokin
you-
as
Oh
well.
my god!
If
well, even
you-
Varlam, how do you say it?
Varlamov.
Varlamov. Yeah,
He's got
he's-
2 shutouts.
Hey, who has the most
already.
shutouts in the league though?
Me.
Tristan Jarry. Thank you very much.
If you don't walk past San Jose, someone's getting fired.
So why didn't
Connor McDavid should get fired.
so bye bye Torts
Yeah. Well, no. That's
for later.
yeah. Well, he's not getting
No,
fired 'cause
Philly actually played well in that game. Like, Ayrson did really well.
he did.
Is
and
that how you say his last name?
yeah, Ayrson.
Who started? It was it Blackwood for the Sharks.
I believe so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Blackwood has like really weird moments.
Blackwood's also been
'Cause he-
going like crazy.
Well, Blackwood played for the Devils
Yeah.
last year, and then he signed with the Sharks, which was a mistake, in my opinion.
Well, he needed a change.
It's, what, from a good team to a bad team?
Well, no, just I think organizational change.
Fair enough.
Because
If-
it wasn't. He's a really good goalie. He just wasn't getting the playing time in New Jersey because he got out.
Because Vanacek was starting.
Yeah, because they picked up a new starter and he
It-
lost the playing time.
Okay, let's look ahead real quick here. Flash forward to April.
That's a long way away.
I was gonna
Okay,
say.
let's go after the trade deadline.
So
That's
February.
March.
Yeah, February, March-ish area. Who are the Oilers' 2 goalies?
Campbell and Skinner.
Ooh,
You think Calla comes back up?
Hellebuck and
Hellebuck.
Vamelka.
What?
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Okay.
I think
Connor
They
McDavid
can't afford it.
and Leon Draisaitl. They should just not play a goalie and just have 6 people on the ice.
I mean, they already do everything else.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
no,
give me-
they don't though. That's the thing.
They penalty killed power play and.
I don't think
even strength.
McDavid penalty kills.
No, they're 2.
Oh yeah,
and
McDavid
8.
penalty kills from time to time.
but poorly. They're 2 and 8. Like that's what we talked about. Like with Edmonton
Okay,
last year,
they attempt.
they tried.
I mean, there
which
is like a
fine.
massive gap between the Sharks and the Oilers, though. Like the Sharks have a minus 42 goal differential, and the Oilers like what
Yeah, but
minus
half
8.
of that is from 2 games.
That is
okay,
true.
so the Sharks' goal differential is minus 42.
Something like that.
The
Yeah.
Oilers are minus 18.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
there's an obvious gap.
But I don't know. Whenever anyone brought up Edmonton last year, it was all, oh man, if they had people to support McDavid and Draisaitl, they'd be killer. If they had the team behind,
It's
McDavid
like-
and
I
They've
think they
been
have
saying
the
that for
support.
years, though.
Yeah, and
It's
right
like the
now it's
Leafs.
proving that that's not
Honestly,
how
I
it's
think they
gonna
have
work.
the support. They need the 3rd and 4th line guys to just
It's like-
produce,
it's
and they
like
need
the
the
Leafs
goalies
as
to make the
well.
freaking stops.
It's like the
Yeah.
Leafs last year because Dubas made an amazing team. They got past the first round for like that's the best they've done for ever.
Yeah.
And then for some reason Dubas gets fired for what? He helped make the best Leafs team he possibly could.
I
I mean, as a Penguins fan, I'm not complaining that he
part
got
of that
fired.
part of that is his presser after saying, "Yeah, I don't even know if I want to be here anymore."
I mean, who wants to live in Toronto? Toronto sucks.
True. I mean,
Toronto sucks.
but I just found it funny
never
when,
been. I
even with
can't agree.
Dubas,
Never
he's
driven
like, I'm
for
never gonna,
4
I'm not
hours
gonna
and
go,
come
I'm gonna take
nowhere.
a break, and then like a few weeks later, I'm signing with the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah, you ever driven for 4 hours and not moved at all? That's Toronto. It sucks.
I mean, cool.
I thought that was the prairies.
That just
No,
looks
but
like you
but
haven't
if
moved.
you do that in the prairies, you actually go from point A to point B.
That's
if you
true.
do that in
It's just all
Toronto,
flat.
you're stuck.
Just,
Yeah.
yeah.
You
Well,
don't go anywhere.
It takes you a day to cross the province.
Toronto
It
is
takes
like
you a day to cross the city.
Toronto is like Canadians in New York City.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah,
Profound.
I would say that.
Or worse.
But worse. Yeah.
On this back half of the episode, we're going to talk about obviously the Flyers loss, some Kraken news, and a couple trades in the NHL. But first,
Crazy breaking news.
Phil has some breaking news for us.
that
Phil, go ahead.
literally just dropped while we were doing that show. While we were literally talking about this issue, Calgary just announced this 22-year-old Dustin Wolf. He has been called up from the AHL. He's going to probably, hopefully, play some games with the Calgary Flames. It's crazy because we were just talking about this.
Can I just say thank you to the NHL Flames for visiting the CMRE.ca website?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Craig
thanks
Conroy.
For
Thanks for
listening,
giving
guys.
us some listens, guys.
Yeah,
I
that's
really
awesome.
appreciate it. Just so you know, our show is always from 10 to 11 on Thursdays, so make sure you keep listening.
Yeah, and we'll keep telling you how to do.
Your job.
Like and share, share to all your friends.
Yeah, awesome.
Um,
I love this move. I think
It's the move.
as we've seen from what Calgary's done with the guys brought up between Zary and Pospisil, Pospisil, whatever. As we've seen, this is bringing life to the team. Like Zary's goal was awesome. Pospisil also got his first goal like in his first game. I think he did too. Yeah. So that's so sick. I think Wolf is going to be similar to that. Maybe he gets to start tomorrow against the Leafs.
Wolf's gonna
We'll
get his first
see.
goal tomorrow.
That'd be kind of crazy.
That'd be funny.
And my goalies in fantasy are like injured, not doing much. So maybe I'll drop them and I'll pick up Wolf. Anyway,
And then Wolf will get dropped to the minors. No one picks him up.
Wolf is sweet. He played lots with the Stockton Heat. He played with the Calgary Wranglers, obviously. They won the regular season last year. He was MVP last year. He used to play for the Everett Silvertips in the WHL, which is pretty cool. He won the World Juniors with Team USA. Yeah, like we were talking about earlier, he's our guy. He's our guy.
I don't want to put a cat amongst the pigeons, but Elliot Friedman put out a tweet about this. What?
I've never heard that was such a
Yeah.
What? That's okay.
It's a nice figure of speech.
I like when we hear
What?
new figures of
When
speech
you-
on here.
Okay, imagine when you put a cat amongst the pigeons. It's anarchy. It's mayhem,
They
right?
just fly away.
Exactly. It's instead of just like a bunch of sitting pigeons, it's just
A bunch of flying pigeons.
Yeah,
All right,
exactly.
Tell me
Chaos.
tell us what you were going to say.
no. What? No.
No, we don't get to hear
No,
that
you
information?
do because I feel like this is part of it.
Yeah.
Elliot Friedman put out a tweet saying that he believes this is more for injury protection than purposes than a trade.
Boo.
So maybe
Boo.
Markstrom's hurt,
Or Vladar. You could
or
bring
Vladar maybe.
Yeah, it sucks that someone's hurt, but hey, he's in the NHL.
Yeah.
He's
Because
making
he only
big money
played
now.
the one game. He's only played the one game
Of,
in the
cour-
NHL.
of course, I'm saying maybe because this isn't like there's no source. It's just Friedman's.
This is based off
belief.
like the past
Yeah.
5 minutes as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it's
there's
not a lot to
there's,
go off of
there's no
here.
announcement that anyone's been moved or sent down or whatever. So I guess the Flames just running with 3 goalies now, doing the Buffalo or the Detroit. I think he's also running with 3.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, we got to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta
Maybe.
do
I mean,
something.
I guess if you want a rookie to breathe some fresh air into the locker room, a la Zary and Pospisil, Dustin Wolf's probably your other guy for that.
Yeah, and all the guys love him. I think. From
Yeah.
what we've seen. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. When you move up a guy who is the AHL's not
Best
only
goalie.
the AHL's best goalie, but the AHL's best player.
Yeah.
That's
The MVP.
in no
That's
world
something.
is that a bad move.
Yeah.
Like
Very
I
excited.
can't believe it took him this long.
Time to move on to some sadness.
Oh,
So,
it's Philly.
yeah, it is Philly.
Ooh. Big fan of this.
So, they were having such a good season so far.
Were they?
By their standards, by
Were
their
they?
by their
they?
standards, they were.
Yeah, considering I picked them to be the poverty franchise of the year.
I wanted to put them 7th, but
Above Columbus?
above Columbus, but I
Yeah.
hedged and I was
That's
I was swayed by peer pressure, and I didn't want to be like a homer. So I'm like, okay, fine, I'll put them
you
8.
could go both ways with that one.
But no, they've been
Um,
doing well.
They've been doing really well, 5-7-1.
I just can't
And
wait. for
Couturier.
Couturier.
Yeah.
Couturier. It's
Yeah.
been fun watching him come back.
Yeah, he came back. Atkinson came back. So there's some goal scoring.
I mean, to give you the benefit of the doubt, you're a Sharks team, right? You're going into a Vancouver game. 10-1. Ouch. You're going into a Penguins game.
10-2.
10-2. Ouch. You're obviously going to have a bit of grit going into the third game after being outscored
But
20-3.
you're going into a game with a fair amount of grit against a John Tortorella team.
Tortorella.
That's something.
That
Like,
sounds like
that-
a type of pasta.
It does. And so I was doing a quick. I unfortunately I couldn't watch the game because I'm not.
You didn't really miss much.
I didn't subscribe to Sportsnet Plus. I only have the basic package,
How
and
dare you.
they don't show
I
Flyers
just have
games
the
ever.
NHL network that I literally just watch Penguins games like I'm in Pittsburgh.
I should do that.
It's really weird. I get all the political ads from Pittsburgh. I'm like, I don't know.
Cool.
Like,
I don't know who any of you people
like,
are.
I'll just be like, they're just like practically attacking each other. I'm like, I'm in Canada, not
Yeah.
Pittsburgh.
US
This
is
is
a scary
weird.
place.
And so I
I
was
learned a
doing.
lot about American politics.
I was doing a little bit of research. Blackwood saving 38 of 39. with a 974 save percentage. Apparently, he was just on one.
He
Well, I
has
mean-
been like
but
all year.
Here
Nah,
is
well, I mean, against Vancouver and Pittsburgh
here is why I'm mad.
because you lost to the Sharks.
Well, that's not mad. That's
As a Penguins
sad.
fan, when the Flyers don't do good, it makes me happy.
If you remember a couple years ago when Buffalo was on their like 13 game losing streak, you remember who busted them out of that? Also
no, I
Philly.
thought that was Arizona.
Nope.
Was there not an Arizona one in like 2016, 2017? They were on like a 13. Like they didn't win.
Well, probably.
It was Arizona's, I believe you, but at least more recently the Buffalo one from a couple years ago.
Yeah, when Buffalo was on their like 18.
Oh, I
game
do remember
losing
that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because I just remember I just followed a bunch of memes saying like, "Did you beat Buffalo? Yes. Did you? No."
No. Yeah. So Philly obviously lost to them, and I was doing some research on pretty much the shot chart because Philly outshot San Jose 39-19.
That's crazy.
That's ridiculous.
And you lost.
And you lost.
That's just
So I was looking because obviously when you outshoot an opponent by more shots than they have, something's wrong with that picture. So I looked at the shot chart. 7 of San Jose's 19 shots came from above the faceoff circles. 14 of Philadelphia's 39 shots came from above the faceoff circle. You're not getting inside.
Philly
Period.
has has more amount of just above faceoff dot shots than San Jose had shots. That's ridiculous.
Almost. Not quite, but almost, yeah.
That's amazing.
And I don't know if I should extend sympathies or say you freaking deserved it. I
mean-
imagine the practice after that game for the Flyers
Suicide.
did not have
skate.
any pucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was not a puck in the arena.
I'm just saying though, like if Edmonton loses to Sharks, you're off the hook. Flyers are just
Yeah.
Yeah,
they will become
if-
just irrelevant to
yeah.
this whole Sharks thing.
I
That
would
would-
love it if Edmonton loses. To the
That would be
Sharks.
funny.
I'm
That's-
so nervous.
That's how I felt though when like as a Penguins fan going they lost 10-1. It's like, okay, we're going into the Sharks. It is such a Pittsburgh thing to do to lose to the Sharks, and then I come back, I'm like, oh, it's 3-0. Oh, it's 4-0. Oh, it's 4-1. Oh, like I was just like, oh, I guess like they scored, yeah, and then we scored right after. I was like, oh.
For the game of hockey, it's important the Oilers win tonight.
I disagree.
Well,
Yeah, no. From an NHL marketing perspective, you better hope.
I do
and
have a-
As a friend
pray
of
that
Carter,
Edmonton
it's
wins.
very important.
I do have
that
I do have a
Edmonton
question
loses
about
tonight.
the Oilers.
Sure.
What do you think happens with Draisaitl?
What do you mean?
Well, his contract's up this year. What do
I
you
think he stays.
You think he stays?
Yeah, because
Send
how
him to
long
the
is
Condors.
McDavid there for?
A long time.
I think like 3 or 4 more years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say Draisaitl stays.
The
I don't know why he wouldn't.
Because they suck.
Okay, so Draisaitl is
It's like-
Draisaitl's playing till the end of next season.
Oh.
You
But
were
I've-
wrong.
I've seen a
Oh, I'm thinking of
couple. I've
Nylander.
seen a couple like speculation trades, with Draisaitl involved for like Shesterkin and stuff like that. You know, just like stuff that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Edmonton has a massive chance to move a lot of their depth.
Yeah. Well, did you see the caveat with Connor Brown's contract, where if he plays one more game, it turns him into his contract next year? He gets awarded $3.25 million automatically if he plays one more game.
That's
So-
sick. Can I play one
So
more?
that's
game?
why that's why
But-
they're holding him out, because he doesn't have any points yet, and they signed him. They thought they were getting this player who's he's coming back from a surgery.
Why would you ever give him $3.25 million?
Well, because
under
he
any
was going to be
circumstance?
playing with McDavid, and he probably, just like Lucic and Cassian, was going to stumble into that worth.
It's all incentives. It's like just like football. Like you have to catch a certain amount of
But it
balls to
hasn't
get more.
worked. So they might waive and terminate. Like, I've just been reading Elliot Friedman's different diagnoses of the situation.
Yeah.
It's also the beginning of the season. You
And
gotta
he
let
said,
him,
like,
walk
what
into
could
it.
happen instead of trading him, because that contract, like, that thing is in there regardless of where he plays. It's not
Mhm.
just Edmonton. So they might send him to the minors, buy out and terminate the contract, and let him try and sign one with another team somewhere else. And it was looking like Toronto could have been a place that was interested in him.
Who?
Which-
Sorry?
Toronto.
No.
Connor or not Connor Brown. Yeah, sorry, Connor
Okay.
Brown, the Oiler.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
No.
Former Leaf Connor Brown.
Yeah, so that's why people were saying that he could look to go back there, but it would have to involve a contract termination.
Yeah.
If the Oilers elect to do that, or they could. It just depends, because next year $3.2 million is a lot of money against the cap.
Yeah.
So it's just a weird. I've never seen a caveat like that in a contract before.
I
I do know they happen, but
It's more primarily in football as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and for older players because
True.
you know they're bonus heavy.
Old dudes.
Just getting on, touching back on the Flames before we get into our next topic. Just touching on Huberdeau's quote about how he has to be better and how he's looking at himself, pretty much.
Such
How
a
he's
cop out.
like he's looking in the mirror. It's like, oh, I have to be better. Like, I mean, yeah. What else do I expect him to say?
Jeff Carter.
Yeah.
I expect him to say nothing. Sit down, shut up, and be better at hockey.
You know who?
Don't tell everyone you're going to be better at hockey. Just be better at
Well,
hockey. You're
I
getting
mean-
paid $11 million to play really good hockey.
Well, okay,
And
so-
you suck.
Okay, so the way that like kind of locker room pressers go is they ask a player if they want to come out, and the player says yes or no. So the media asked Huberdeau if he wants to talk. He said, "Sure." What do you expect him? He's going to get asked that question. What do you expect him to say?
No, I'd expect him to not come out and talk.
No, I think you almost
Okay.
have to.
I
say
expect him to
something.
sit down and be better at hockey. Once you score a goal, you can come out.
I
and
thought he
talk.
scored this year.
Doesn't
Like
he have an A
one.
on his chest?
Oh.
Doesn't he have an A on his chest?
Yeah,
So
take it off.
wow,
Jeez.
Give it a wolf.
A
that's
what?
okay. Okay, now okay.
Phil is fired up.
That's
Kidding.
okay.
Who are the captains and assistants for Flames? I know it's.
Backlund is the
Back when
captain.
finally to
Captain.
see, I'm so happy.
Does Lindholm have an A?
Tanev.
I was gonna
I
say,
think, and then I think
Does
they're
Al-
rotating cast of 4 or 5.
Does
I think
Anderson have an A?
I think he
I
does.
think so.
I think he has an A. Tanev has an A. Lindholm has an A. Huberdeau has an A, and someone else has.
Hannafin, maybe.
It's a weird. It's a
If
weird.
not, I'd give it to Hannafin.
It's a weird 5 set. I don't understand.
Yeah, take the A off. He sucks.
Staying in division but moving out of the country, Seattle has a bit of injury issues
Yeah, this one's tough.
to Landon's boy.
Jordan Eberle.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw
this one's
that.
tough.
Yeah, he got his leg cut during practice, especially this story getting a bit of greater magnification since the whole Adam Johnson incident.
R.I.P.
You know, if it's similar to what I'm thinking it is, I had a friend when we were playing minor hockey who had the same thing. He tried to kick the puck out of the air and got his own calf.
Whoa!
But it doesn't it didn't gush. Like I was reading Eberle, he
Yeah.
said it didn't gush. Like there wasn't a lot of blood, but like you
This is
can see the red meat underneath.
Yeah.
kind of. And that's what
That's
happened to my
called
friend.
muscle.
Like obviously,
apologies if you're eating breakfast right now. By the way,
obviously at our game we had to like call the ambulance and everything because it on ice too. It looks a lot
well,
worse.
because you cut someone.
Well, and any blood on the
On
white
white,
ice is gonna
yeah.
look
It's
really
so
bad.
gnarly.
So yeah, but like it does happen really quick, and you don't feel it. Like he didn't know, but like,
Yeah.
a trail of blood followed my friend
Feels
back
weird.
to the bench
Ron-
because it's so fast.
Oh,
and
also
clean.
adrenaline. So
Ron France said they're doing an MRI to see if it got the tendon, so he doesn't know enough yet.
I mean, if he got
I hope he's okay. I love
it
Eberle,
wasn't
so-
gushing, but it was a deep cut, so they've taken him to the hospital, and now they're doing an MRI. I think we dodged a bullet, but he's going to be pretty sore tomorrow.
Yeah.
In response to that, the Seattle Kraken call up from your Coachella Valley Firebirds, Shane Wright.
Yeah, that's exciting. I mean, it's
Yeah, he's
obviously bad circumstance.
He's getting
but
his 6th or 7th chance, I guess.
Yeah.
And Ryan Winterton. That's a fun last name.
What?
Dude,
What are we talking about?
Ryan Winterton is also coming up from Coachella Valley.
Okay.
Watch him do
Yeah.
better than Shane, right?
Winterton.
Yeah.
I mean, Shane Wright will. He just needs his chances. Again.
I mean, he got dealt a bad hand. He went to Seattle and they were supposed to be bad, and then they weren't bad.
Yeah. Well, he also just I think needed to grow up a little bit, like all of you, like you, Merrick,
Yeah.
all of you children around here.
He's so young.
Before we dive into both
Oh,
wild
I have a little
trades-
cool little fact. If that's if you don't mind.
Sure,
Uh,
quickly.
For a forward defenseman duo that have contributed to the most goals together in NHL history, Sidney Crosby and Chris Letang moved up to third at 291.
How did I know it was going to be a Penguins
course
thing?
it's
Of course it is.
Phil, do you want to talk about the Hitmen?
I would love to talk about the
Go
Hitmen.
ahead.
It's time for Phil's corner.
It is Phil's corner.
I was going to say something that I'm not going to say. We played 2 games since our last show, I believe. Yeah. Maybe?
1.
1.
You told me it was 1.
I was wrong.
Oh,
It's 2.
okay.
We played Everett on the 3rd. We lost to Everett, unfortunately, but that's okay because Everett's a really, really good team. And then we played Moose Jaw.
I have a quick question for you. Where is Everett? Is it in Saskatchewan?
No, it's in Seattle.
Oh, okay.
No, not Seattle. Washington.
Washington.
It's
Yeah.
in the States.
Yeah.
I was picking up what you were putting down.
Yeah, and Everett's a
Okay.
great team. Kind of fun because we just hired the guy that used to be Everett's manager.
Yes.
So that's fun. We played against Moose Jaw the other day as well. That was a pretty nice win, 2-1. Another great game by Ethan Buenaventura, 30 saves. Dax Williams getting one of his firsts in the WHL. And my boys keep rolling. It's Sean Schickel and Ben Kindle with the assists. Man, It is a great one. Those guys are playing so well right now. It's so exciting to see these guys actually pick up some steam. They play Edmonton tomorrow night, and then also play Edmonton the day after tomorrow. So we got some Battle of Alberta's coming up, and then after that we have head-to-heads against Red Deer back and forth as well. Cool little thing. I believe it's Reese Hamilton. He's from the Hitmen. He is right now in PEI playing in the 2023 World Under-17 Hockey Challenge, which is kind of like the World Juniors because there's only like 5 teams there, and Canada has 2 teams for some reason. We got the United States, Czechia, Finland, Canada White, Canada Red, which is odd.
Sure.
And then
Is one of them like
Sweden.
West and East?
Nope.
Oh,
Just
it's
different teams.
just 2 teams.
Like what, team 1, team 2?
Yeah, Reese Hamilton's gotten an A on that team, and we're in the quarterfinal rounds tonight. Excuse me. And guess who's playing against each other?
Canada.
It's Canada White versus Canada Red
Nice.
in the
Oh.
quarterfinal.
Oh, no.
Out in PEI. So
Guys, I
we'll
think
see how
Canada's
that
gonna
goes.
win.
I think
Yeah.
Canada might
I'm
win.
sure that's just a
Yes.
fun scrimmage at that point.
I mean, it's
Like,
still
'cause you could-
quarterfinal.
Well, yeah,
like-
but you absolutely know the people on the other side, so I'm sure it'll be. I'm sure
Yeah,
it'll be
you
a
know
lot more
their
fun than it typically
weaknesses.
would be.
yeah, absolutely. So lots going on in minor. Actually, not that much going on in minor hockey.
Has to add to Phil.
Sean Shigell is still dope.
Okay.
I just wanted to kind of stem from Phil's outside of NHL corner, but the IIHF rivalry series for women's hockey
Open up
has
with a
started
3-1
yesterday.
states win.
Yeah,
Yes.
Hillary Knight kind of went off.
And Sarah Filia, I love watching Sarah Filia. I have her jersey. I love Sarah Filia.
Yeah, no,
I'm excited to watch her play
I don't like
through
the I don't like
series.
the U.S. team that much, but Hillary. Yeah, I enjoy watching Hillary Knight play hockey.
Yeah.
She's very, very good.
Alex.
Yeah.
I think you were about to mention something in the Wild environment.
Well, hey, I was.
What happened with the Wild
We
yesterday?
don't have much time, so I'm going to quickly breeze through it. Before we jump into that, McAvoy's suspension held 4 games. Just the NHL holding up a standard to hits to the head. That's pretty much about it. That's all I took from the suspension being upheld, is that they're actually starting to crack down on hits to the head, which is good because
Yeah.
your head is valuable.
I agree.
It depends
the-
who you are.
That's where thoughts were made.
Okay, Phil.
Mine's not.
The Wild engaged in 2 separate trades, one with San Jose and one with Tampa.
That poor player that had to go to San Jose.
Starting with San Jose, Kalen Addison went from San Jose to Minnesota.
Other way.
What?
He went from Minnesota to San Jose.
Oh, sorry, was traded to San Jose. Sorry, I can't read. Kalen Addison was traded to San Jose by the Minnesota Wild on Wednesday for Adam Raska and a 5th-round pick.
That Sharks player is just screaming out in joy.
Yeah. Yeah, Raska, he's probably just going to report to Iowa, I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
Um,
interesting that moving Addison, because I thought he was like one of their top guys, but maybe not. I just remember him being their power play guy.
I imagine that's probably just,
The Sharks are also condensed to like 3rd and 4th liners. Mostly.
yeah.
Well,
I don't know offhand how long the Parise and Suter buyout.
this year
penalties?
is the last big year. I know
Okay.
that. I don't know if it's the last year, but
What did they buy out
It's definitely
Parise
not the
for?
last year because I think
but this year's 15 mil. It's the last big bad year.
Yeah.
What did Parise buy? What did they buy out Parise for?
I don't know, like 8 million. It was him and
yeah,
Suter,
it was,
I think.
It was like 7.5 or
Suter's
something.
with Dallas, I think, or is he retired?
Suter's with yeah, I want to say Suter's with Dallas.
And then
Yeah.
who is Parise with the Islanders?
I don't think he's in the NHL right now.
Hmm.
I don't think they re-signed him. But
So
I can't.
that's
I can't
child-
remember. But
that's a childhood player right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is the last year that it's bad, and then they'll be able to make some moves and get Kaprizov some line mates. Not that they're doing bad; they just don't have the depth. But like
Well,
their top 6 is really
Their
good.
mistake was
Nope,
to get rid of
okay.
Fiala. I think.
So
They
quick
couldn't
fact
afford him.
check. Next year is the last bad year.
Oh, next year's okay.
Yeah. So this year is 14-7. Next year is 14-7, and then it's 1.6 for the next 1, 2, 3, 4 years.
Okay, yeah. So that'll be a huge help because like with $14
And-
million, you could add Nathan McKinnon.
And
you could
that
add
like, that's a
anyone.
lot of
you
star
could add
power.
Anyone for $14 million.
that
yeah.
I
Get me for
imagine with
500,000.
trading because all they're getting is picks here.
Yeah.
They
Well, they got
acquired- They
Bogosian.
acquired 2 picks in Bogosian.
They essentially
get-
traded Addison for Bogosian.
Yep. Which fair.
Yeah.
Third line for third line.
Carter Yakubchuk.
Getting on to the second trade before we close up shop here for the next 4 minutes here. The Wild also trading for Bogosian. Yeah, just shoring up their defense a little bit, adding a bit more size and a bit more grit.
It kind of seems odd to me because they let Dumba go and then they keep Addison and then they trade the young guy and get another older guy in Bogosian.
They're trying to do what Pittsburgh does.
I mean,
It just seemed kind of like unscripted almost.
do you happen to know Minnesota's cap space?
No.
It's zero.
It's not a Matt Dumba.
It's not a match.
It's not a Matt Dumba.
Dumba made like what, 6 mil
About.
roughly. That's what I would give him at least. Like
I think he was more. I thought he was closer to 4. But
I'd give him 3.
Jumping
3,
over
take it
to
away,
the
then.
Coyotes
3.
cap friendly, Matt Dumba
I'll
is
take
sitting
that
at
million.
3.9.
oh, okay. So,
That's not bad. He's with the
None of their
Coyotes.
defensemen are signed past the end of this year.
in
They're just
Arizona.
gonna have
In
no
Arizona.
defense.
Yeah, I think they'll try and lock up Moser next. Cause
Maybe they're gonna do a fan promotion night. Hey, be a defenseman.
well, and
Yeah.
they just
Walk
with their first 2 first-round picks this year, they picked those guys that were like off the board but also defensemen.
Yeah.
Because now they're stacked with like Cooley and everyone up front.
Yeah.
So
Are the Flyers playing their draft pick from this year?
Michkov?
No, he's still in
It's not allowed.
CSKA Moscow.
Why is he not allowed?
Russia.
Because Russia won't let him leave.
He's in a contract there.
For how long?
2 more years, I think.
Oh, I thought it was a lot more political than that.
It is. It is a lot more political.
It
than
is.
that.
That
I
I
thought it
gave
was
you the
just
very,
Russians
very
not allowed.
diplomatic, easy version.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, they did it for
Yeah,
Kaprizov.
Landon-
They made
Land-
a full fake identity for him.
Russian
Landon gave you Putin's answer.
I gave
He
you
has a contract here.
I gave you the
Contract,
answer that you
contract.
get when there's 3 minutes left in the show.
Contract.
Yeah. Yeah.
You must play contract.
You okay? So we'll get into this. I'll make a point of mentioning this next show, but basically, Russian people have to. They have to give their time. They have to do mandatory military service.
Yeah.
And
Especially right now.
and this, I think the CSKA Moscow team counts as that.
What?
Yeah, some of the skeleton athletes too. That was their their
playing
service. That was
hockey.
their conscription, was to represent Russia athletically. And
That's so
obviously they've all
stupid.
been suspended for
That's
other
so
reasons. but-
stupid.
Yeah, I'll have to do some more research on that, but that's basically the bare bones. Oddly enough, for skeletons,
I hate that.
that's basically the bare bones point of it. I'll do a lot more research on it, and I'll get back to you guys next week about it.
But it was always like that in Soviet Russia too. The Red Army.
Yeah, not the first time that the Flyers have lost a prospect to Russia. Ivan Fedotov was shipped off to some Atlantic Sea, Baltic area
I forgot about that. That was actually scary.
military base. Like he was pulled out of a hospital because he was sick, and then he got shipped back to Russia, and I think he's still in Russia. It's this huge thing. But I'll make sure I make time for that.
I
for
think
next
they
week.
located him though. Like they've had communications with him.
Yeah, like they know he's breathing.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Because for a while he did like just go away.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically
Well,
it for this week.
Thanks for having me, guys. This
Yeah,
was fun.
thanks
Yeah,
for joining,
Merrick Robinson
Merrick.
jumping on the
Love
show.
to be back in the future, baby.
For this week, I've been Alex Burke with Phil Tremblay
Yes, sir.
and Landon Brown.
Hello, hello.
Have a great week, guys. Hopefully the Flames come out with a winning record.
Go Sharks, go.
Love you. Bye.